Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm doing something a little bit different, and that's kind of because I've been bored of YouTube. I'm not the most regular uploader, and I'm trying to get better. And to kind of remedy that, I've decided to do something sort of for myself, but I think it'll be interesting for you guys to watch along with. So just to kind of set the basis here, I spent like no time on my personal collection recently, and I really only have 3 watches in it, and that's this Seiko SKX 013, this Tudor Oyster, which I post a lot because I love it, and this CWC G10. Don't get me wrong, it's a perfectly good little versatile collection. I'm a pretty basic guy, I don't really need anything else. I nearly always have a dress watch or two that I just have but aren't really in the collection. And I spent a lot of time recently on Rerun Watches, which is a company I have buying and selling watches, working as a watch dealer. So there's a load of watches behind me here. Just grab these. And these are all from Rerun. So actually this one's not, and we'll talk about that in a minute. So it's like a Secunda, a vintage Zodiac I really like, and a vintage Zenith. All great pieces, and I get to wear these. That's kind of a perk of the job. But I kind of want something in my personal collection which I can call my own. I don't really wear the company watches like out and about. I don't, obviously beat on them or do anything I shouldn't do with them. Whereas with my personal watches, I'm a lot more lax. I enjoy them more. I'm kind of less stressed or less worried about wearing them. So that's kind of the premise of this video. I'm going to try to get myself a good watch. I did a previous video on finding myself a daily watch, and I like a lot of those options. But I was thinking of a series I could do, and something that would be interesting to watch. And the idea came from a car YouTube channel, Flying Wheels. And that's a guy in, I think, New Hampshire in the States. And he started off with $500 and is slowly flipping his way up to a Ferrari. So he's a car dealer, he's experienced, used cars, I think. And I enjoy watching that content. So I thought it'd be really interesting to go from, say, £100 to Rolex. I've spoken about how I'm not really in need of a Rolex yet. I kind of don't see myself wearing one as much. But I think if I start this challenge and by the time I get there, I might be ready for one. And I'm not exactly going to complain if I manage to trade from £100 up to one. So that's what I'm going to do. I spent basically all week, and I'll show you guys the process. I started this last Saturday, I'm now recording this Saturday, and I'll release this video hopefully tomorrow on Sunday. And I'm hoping to do kind of a weekly updated thing. Depends how quickly everything goes, I guess. So far it's been pretty okay, but finding watches, especially these lower prices, can be a real hassle. So kind of long story short, I spent probably a good 7 hours cumulatively on Facebook Marketplace, Etsy, eBay, trying to really hunt down a deal in that £100 budget. Which isn't easy. I came very close to spending the full budget several times, but eventually I managed to secure a watch, which I could get this week. Okay, so here I'm just going through like Facebook Marketplace. This is one part of all the hours of work I did. This is just one sit down session I had, kind of going over what I'd found actually. There were some job lots I looked at, some nice pieces there, but nothing really worth looking at. Here I'm on my phone talking to a guy about purchasing his watch. I went on the auction site there for a little bit, but didn't really find much. And this whole time I'm cross-referencing. There's a lot of fake watches on Instagram. I'm sending messages, I'm cross-referencing. There's my puppy on my lap helping me. And basically I have a whole process where I look at a watch, then I look at its market value and what it's selling for on like eBay. And in the end I actually found a piece of a local guy I know, actually my old boss, a guy called Owen. And that's this. This is a Enicar ultrasonic. I think it's an ultrasonic. The tech's rubbed off. There's a 17 jewel UltraThin movement, or UltraThin piece. And it's like 6.9 millimeters thick. So it's very cool, manual wind. It's on quite a nice strap. It's been serviced earlier in the year, so there's nothing I have to do to it. That was kind of a big concern of mine, looking for the right watch. because if I buy a watch for £90, but then it needs a £100 service for say like a manual wind movement, that just, you know, destroys the budget and I'd just be screwed. So I'm going to try to stay in budget all the time. I'm counting things like services, new straps. Even if I just have my watchmaker do like one little thing and he charges me a £5, that's going to be counted in the budget. I'm going to keep a spreadsheet. But this cost me £80, which I was very happy with. And then I had to kind of figure out what it was worth. Because Enicar really is, it's a well-known brand, but kind of less well-known than some of the other vintage brands. There's a lot of collectors who really like these because they've got kind of cool older logos, which are very like space-ish and space age. And I also had to find someone who likes ultra-thin watches because I know they're not for everyone. I personally enjoyed wearing this a lot. I put it on my own strap from my Tudor. And yeah, so overall I think a good first buy. There were a lot of like Russian watches and stuff I could have gone for in this price range. Some Seikos, which were like kind of subprime. But I think this overall is a pretty great piece. You know, the dial's not ideal, although it's nice, bit of patina. And the case back is chromed, or the whole case I should say is chromed, so some light pitting. But I think overall for its age, the condition's very good. So I'd be happy to sell this in rerun generally. So I think this is a good first watch for the challenge. Market price for these, I'm gonna have to kind of look and see, but I think for an ultra-thin, it could be pretty good and we could have a lot of profit left in this. As I said, it's just about finding the right buyer because it's ultra-thin, which is cool, but it's also 33mm in diameter and about a 19mm lug width, so a bit odd and pretty small. But a piece I'm very happy to have, and I'm just enjoying wearing it at the moment. Okay, so I'm going to try to figure out kind of the value of this watch. So first up, I'm just going to try Enicar UltraThin, and we'll see if there's something similar on here. So this one here, which is 34mm, so I think 1mm larger than mine. So this is 34mm, also 17 jewels, so I assume kind of the same movement. But this one looks like, I'm going to assume this is gold. Oh no, so this one might also be gold plated. It might have a bigger movement based on this case back, but still a 17 jewel, looks a bit dusty. And this is £444, which is much better than I was expecting. Let's see what they say here. Manual wind, yep, same as mine. Plexiglass, champagne dial. If they have movement photos, that'd be great, but I don't think they do. And if we go back on here, there's literally one result. So now I'm going to try just Enicar, pre-owned obviously, and we'll see what they have. So these are pretty pricey looking at these, but a lot of these are actually the sports models. So the chronographs are always obviously going to be more expensive, being complicated. Name models like the Ocean Pearl. So up here, I mean, it's looking pretty expensive, but this is normally what Chrono24 does. It just shows kind of the top tier stuff. So we move down to 24 for kind of a strange day date tornado shaped case. The chronographs are always expensive and collectible. Save with these dive, yeah, it's a Sherpa model dive watches, which are really nice. Sherpa Super Dive. That's a very nice piece, but obviously ours is not going to be worth £3,000. So I'm looking for something similar. This is a ultrasonic serviced 17 jewel. Obviously not ultra thin, maybe a bit bigger than mine, I assume. Yes, this is 36. This is a much more common, more wearable size. That is without the crown, which is nice. They've done that properly. So now if I go back, we'll try narrowing it down. So case size will go 33mm. It's not many. Okay, so for comparables, I'm going to go for 34 as well. I'm going to view the listing. That looks like a redial. That's pretty nice, 140. That ultra thin again, 444. Chronograph's expensive. We're looking up to like £300 here. Now, based on all this stuff and some research I've already done, I'm actually only thinking of asking 220. But I'm looking for a quick sale, so that would obviously be probably negotiable. This one's nice, Sherpa 600. The Sherpa model is clearly very popular. And this is kind of how I find pricing. I did try eBay, but a lot of the pieces on eBay are not nice condition, and they're not really, I guess, comparable. I think kind of the nicer stuff ends up on Chrono24 here, and I couldn't find any ultra-thin pieces on eBay, which was very frustrating for me. But yeah, I think 220 is going to be a fair price to ask for it. Actually, way more than I thought it would be worth when I purchased it. So that was a lucky move. So now that I know I'm roughly going to price it around £200, £220, I think that's fairly fair. I need to list it, and I need to make listings, and that's kind of a bit of a chore. So what I like to do is I like to just post it on my Instagram. So in this case, I think I'm going to post it on Rearm Watches itself, and probably my own account, which is sammill.s. Because obviously that's all full of watch people, and I could find a buyer easier. I wouldn't have fees to pay, it would all be private. It's a much cleaner, easier process anyway. After that, I like to go on things like Reddit, also try to find a good buyer and a private sale. r/watch exchange is very good for this sort of thing. I've made a few sales through there. Has some rules and stuff you have to adhere to, but I think it's mostly very much worth doing. And then failing that, I'll put up on eBay. Yeah, I don't know, it's about finding the right buyer for this watch. So I could get really lucky, and on Instagram, 5 minutes after posting a story, I could get, yes, I want that, give it to me. Or I could find an Ancre collector who really, really wants one. Which does happen occasionally. But obviously, this being the beginning of the challenge, I'm not selling kind of as desirable stuff, because it's hard to find desirable stuff under £100, because it's normally marked up a lot. But there will be good profit in this. There's normally good profit in cheaper watches like this, because you need it to make it worth your time. And I think overall this is a really good score. Hopefully I'll have it sold by next week, and then I can talk you guys through sourcing the next watch, and then the next watch, the next watch. That's how this series will work. And hopefully it'll be really kind of interesting for you guys. I'm gonna focus on basically turnover. So I think I could price this higher than £200 or 220 or whatever I end up settling with. But yeah, that's the concept for this series, I guess. We'll see how it goes. Hopefully I can get some momentum going and keep flipping watches every 1 to 2 weeks, and I can keep you guys updated. Obviously speed of flipping is more interesting for you guys, because then even if I make less profit on a watch, I can make another video. Sadly I don't earn money off YouTube, but I think it's still worth doing. And I'd really like to end up with a Rolex by the end of the year. Obviously that might be a bit ambitious, because we're already 4 months into the year. But I reckon I can do it. I think it'll be fun. And to be honest, the new Rolex 36mm Explorer release has kind of got me excited about Rolex again, because to be honest, modern Rolex hasn't really been my cup of tea, except for like Rolex dates and Datejust, so about 36mm, 34mm sized. But I'd probably settle for something vintage. Oh, settle's the wrong word. I really like the vintage Rolex dates in 34mm. They're good automatics. You can get them with the nice solid link bracelets. And they wear really well on my pretty skinny wrist. And they are the same case that my Tudor has, which is pretty cool. They'd be a bit thicker, because this is a UltraThin case. But that's a watch I've tried on and I know I like. But it really depends where the challenge goes. I might end up with like a bubble pack, which I'd be more than happy with, because I like those too. We'll see how it goes. I'll keep everyone updated on my Instagram at sammill.s. I post all my watches there, and sometimes stuff from Rearm which I have in stock. And obviously you can follow Rearm Watches as well, if you want to see what I've got for sale over there. I still post nice photos, and I try not to shove sale posts down people's throats. I just kind of feature watches which are for sale, and then if someone reaches out to me, then I make the pitch. Yeah, so that's that video kind of complete. I hope you guys like the concept. If you do like the video, subscribe to see the rest of them. And I think this will be an interesting little challenge for me. Anyway, thanks again for watching, and have a great day.